Hi, I'm Joe Davis back again with Gains On at the Gains 2025 Summit in Atlanta. And I am here with my guest, Jeremy Griffin from Archrock. Jeremy, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Excellent. And you are a senior inventory planner with Archrock.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So tell me, what does Archrock do?
We are in the natural gas compression business. We lease our units to your Chevrons and your Exxons so that they can move their product through the pipelines.
At Archrock, I imagine that experience is pretty important, right? You have to know what you're doing and know what you're talking about. And in every organization, there are experts, right?
Right.
And a lot of time, experts operate off of intuition, kind of a gut feeling. But you're a data guy, right?
Yes.
So if you ever run into a situation where the data kind of goes against the experts or goes with the experts, and how does that work for you?
So I think in this industry in particular, that plays a very big role. The intuition of the experts. We often have to rely on that intuition from our operations department because in our industry we guarantee a 98% runtime on these units. And it's not a matter of the data says we need to stock this particular item at this level. It's if we don't have this item, this unit will be down and we will miss our runtime gear.
Right. Right.
So it's finding that balance between the intuition and the data.
Right. And if you ever run into a situation where somebody is like, I'm telling you, we need to order 1,000 of these, and you're like, we use 3 a month.
Right. We definitely do run into that situation, and when that does come into play, we'll sit down and we'll show them the data because a lot of times I know what I'm looking at, and they don't get to see that. So
Right.
if I can show them the data, we can come to an understanding.
Yeah, I know that so much of what we do is supply chain professionals is um, convince people that we have their best interests in mind.
Right. Yeah, I want them to have the inventory that they need just as much as they do.
Right. So you have a long history with working in. You started out as a field technician, right?
No, I started out with Archrock as a purchaser. And
Oh, you're purchasing.
yes, I have a further back history in oil and gas, but that was long before Archrock.
Right on. Have you found that your experience? Yeah, we talked about how experience matters. Have you found that your experience working in all those different pieces of the
So I think my experience in procurement got me a lot more intimate information with the parts themselves. I know a lot more about the parts than your standard planner may, where it's just an item on the shelf to them. I actually had to know the specifications of that item and
right?
get very much more familiar with it.
Yeah.
So that definitely played a role in.
Well, I imagine what you work with is fairly complex and literally a lot of moving parts. How many SKUs are you responsible for?
I think at the moment we are up to around 200,000.
Wow. Wow. And these are all like precision parts, right? So have you run into problems with tariffs where you have to look for alternate sourcing?
We're definitely dealing with that. Most of our items are sourced domestically, so it hasn't been too big of an issue. But where we are running into that, we put a plan in place and we're dealing with it as it
Excellent.
comes.
So, like you said, our truck has a 98% uptime guarantee, right? So the machines have to be operating 98% of the time. How do you plan for inventory for such critical pieces when that uptime is so important?
So a lot of what we do in those scenarios is we will plan at the discretion of the service managers in the field. Um, they'll know what their critical spares are, what they have to have, what's a constrained item, what's going to have a long wait time. If they don't have it, we're not going to meet that.
Right.
So we'll plan discretionary inventory based on that wisdom, and then we use the gains tool for pretty much everything else. We use the data for that. We have a business rule: if an item moves 3 times within a year, which is not a lot of movement. No,
Right.
typically, your supply chains that I'm sure you're used to talking to, they're moving thousands of. Oh yeah, here, and for us, it's three's enough. We're going to stock it at 3.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. It's sort of the different side of that problem, but still a problem as well. Or maybe not problem is the right word, but definitely a challenge that we're not used to hearing. Right,
Right.
is because of dealing with a limited inventory versus a vast inventory. Have you worked in both of those kind of areas?
No, actually, Archrock is my first purview into supply chain work.
Oh, awesome. And what got you attracted to supply chain in the first place?
I've always just been a data guy. I stare at spreadsheets for fun, and uh, so I saw an opportunity with Archrock to get into more of the data analytics side after coming in the purchasing department, and that's how I got where I am right now.
So, you're in gains every day?
Yes.
Excellent. So, what do you look for in gains that for signals that let you know that you need to uh, rebalance inventory or to rebalance capacity? What kind of signals do you look for?
So one of the key signals that we look for when we're making planning adjustments is lead time accuracy. Um, if we have an item that our lead time calculation might be a little bit off, we run with such tight constraints on our redistribution that that lead time plays a key role right in our stocking level. I mean, obviously for everybody, it does.
Right.
Uh, but it's so tight for us that we have to pretty much stay on top of it, make sure that that number is on the money.
So, Archrock worked with Gaines on a network design project. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. So we worked with Gaines and Alvarez and Marsal on network optimization so that we could get our sub inventories, Connex boxes, shipping containers, pretty much closer to units in the field to cut down on technician drive time. And we've been able to quantify large savings cutting down on that drive time, plus stocking inventory closer to where it needs to be, cutting down on the.
That makes sense. How were you able to figure that out?
It was geographic data. We tracked where the technicians lived versus where they were traveling to for the units they covered, because all the technicians are assigned to a specific set of units.
Oh, okay. So you were able to sort of that's very interesting because I think, sometimes we look at data and I think we look at the wrong side of things. Like I remember there's a story about World War II. They were trying to fortify the planes. So they would look at planes that came back after being, full of holes, and they would go, okay, well, everywhere where there is a bullet hole, we need to put armor on this plane. And what they didn't realize was the ones that had the holes in them and came back were the ones that didn't get critically damaged.
Right.
And so they were fixing the wrong problem.
That-
So I would think that, you would want to put your, parts near your machines, but putting your parts near your technicians makes a lot more sense. So has that improved the response time? Have you seen that improve?
Yes, where technicians were previously having to drive maybe 2 hours out of the way from their field route to pick up parts to service these units, now they're making a direct path as best as possible.
It's great.
Yeah.
And more sustainable too, because the less travel, look at that. So, Jerry, do you have any advice for somebody who is looking to bring a product like Gains in or wants to do a digital transformation like you've done at Archrock?
I think I'll go ahead and say this: Gains has been a godsend. It's a great tool for us that we use. For somebody that's considering it, somebody that's already kind of familiar with what Gains does, I would say have your house in order, because Gains performs exponentially better with when your data
Yeah.
is prepared for it. Uh, it it's a tool and it works as good as what you give it.
Yeah, well, look at that old phrase, right? Garbage in, garbage out, right?
Right.
Awesome. Well, Jeremy, thank you so much for coming to Gain Summit, and it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Jeremy Griffin, everybody.